Okay, I'm Dominick Mele. I live at the Coburg Village in Rexford, New York, 12148. I've been here almost 14 years. I came here in 2001, it was in April, with a girl, my wife, which I met in the Army. I mean, the Army was good to me. It's true that trained with soldiers because I was the youngest doctor uh, that, that, that that work around there. Most of the other doctors were too old to go in training with the young people. Uh, I know I have some kind of a excellent speech, but I went to Italy when I was 4.5 years old, and I came back when I was about 17 years of age. My father at the time believed that the schools for doctors or for literature were better in Europe than they were in the United States. Now that has changed a lot. In the Army, I was stationed for 2.5 years at Camp Roberts, California. Every 3 months we get 12,000 men to train, and I had to go with them, walk at train and walk at nighttime, go under the machine gun fire, and train with them. But after 2.5 years, I got tired and asked to go overseas. I mean, they sent me to California, to San Francisco, take a course in anesthesia. That, they made me eligible to go overseas. Then I waited for 6 months at Fort Bragg, for 6 months of that in Texas. By the time I waited, the war was over. And so I went home, to see my mother-in-law in Montana. And from there, I decided to say goodbye to my folks in Schenectady. I went to Schenectady, we stayed there, said goodbye, and I never left Schenectady. And I was here in Schenectady for 50 years. I enjoyed my practice. I enjoyed being a pediatrician. When babies are sick, they're sick. When they're well, they smile. Also, because of all you on your shirt and all that. But we had a nice time, and I think that's enough for now.
Tell me what Veterans Day means to you.
Veterans Day, well, I was quite sure because when the people first came to Veterans Day, they told me what happened and all that. They said, well, I never went overseas. I never should. But then they told me, look what you did. You trained us, a lot of soldiers to go overseas. But some came back, some did not come back. But so you had to do the same thing every time, every 3 months, the same thing, go under the machine gun and have a nice time. One thing was said to me, well, at that time I wasn't sure whether I did enough for the United States for the Army. But a couple times I was asked to be charged of a hospital train from San Francisco, Oakland, to Massachusetts, and then I saw all the soldiers, the officers and the soldiers, they didn't care. They made me realize that even though I was safe in the United States, that a lot of people had to give their life for me and for other people, my family and all that. Okay?
Now, you recently went on an honor flight to Washington, D.C. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Well, I was surprised. I mean, the other doctors, the other people here went about 3 weeks before. Then I said, maybe I'll try it anyway, because there was some girl named Rhonda asked me to go. So I went over there, and I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning to be sure I was on time. I tried to call Don, and I had the wrong phone number, so I couldn't call him. So it was 5 o'clock, so I said, I'll go downstairs. And here downstairs, they were already downstairs. There were 3 people with three motorcycles. The first motorcycle had a big flag. So we just left here, and we went into the airport, the Albany airport, and we had a nice time. And then I had to shake hands to all the people when they get to the airport. There were so many people on each side of myself. I was always shaking hands, left, right and left, right and left. I didn't realize I realized that I do read something that all of a sudden I realized that what I did was important to all the people in the United States. And maybe I went to school in Italy, but my life here is in the United States. And I'm glad I'm here.
Tell me what day your birthday is and how old you're going to be.
Well, I'm 99 years old. I'm not going to call anymore. I tell you, my birthday is December 3, 1914. And at that time, when I was born, my mother was born here. But just about a month later, then my mother lost her father and first brother in an earthquake in Italy. It's Sora, Italy. Sora, Italy. There was an earthquake. But I stayed here. I grew up. Then in 2 years, another year and a half, I had a brother, Frank, and then another 2 more years, Mary. So we all three spent together some time in Italy to learn the Italian language. But however, I didn't become a kind of a soccer fan. But I also wanted to come back to the United States. My parents decided to make the United States their home in 1925 when my grandmother died of pneumonia. So we remit every year, and I've been here ever since. And I've gone to Italy twice, only twice since 1940. And I looked around. My children came along with me. I just wanted to see where the Western civilization started. And they were surprised to know more all about it. And then we came back here, and I think we were all happy.
Tell me what you thought of the World War II memorial.
Well, I seen the memorials before because my son Paul, he works for the army in the Pentagon as a civilian. So every time I used to go see my son Paul down in Washington, then we take a break, half a day and a day. We see the other place. So in about 3-4 times on that, we saw all the memorial. But it was nice to see all the memorials. Spend a lot more time with all the other veterans. It was important because then I realized how many men we lost in these 4 wars. We lost more men in the Civil War than in all these 4 wars here. And probably it's about time now that we should keep our troops so. Not because I'm against any politician and all that, but because as an American, I don't call myself Italian American. Because an American, I think we should take care of our men, see? And the wives who were waiting for them to come back. Okay.